Hello everybody and welcome back. We are back out at our property again, and we're just coming out here to look at the final grade and the final layout of the pond. Everything looks really good. We're done pretty much with excavation until the springtime though. Springtime, the guys from Finney Trucking will be back. They'll be bringing the topsoil back over the top of this clay, and then also straightening up over there those piles of dirt, leveling everything back up, and doing the final grade around the pond, putting in the septic system, putting down the gravel in the driveway. So quite a few more things to do in the springtime. But the final grade over here on this side of the house does look pretty good. This is exactly how we want it to be. Now we're just gonna come down here. Yeah, exactly. Jessica wanted to be up on a hill, so we're definitely up on about a 7-foot hill, since the foundations are about 2 feet in the ground and we have a 9-foot basement. So framing should be starting in about a week, and we're gonna come down here and see what the final kind of layout of this pond looks like. We definitely have enough dirt out of here now. They will be doing the final shaping, like I said, in the springtime, just going ahead and grading around the edge. So we definitely have some coyotes in the area.
This looks good.
Yeah, definitely did a great job on the pond. Hopefully we get a good amount of water in it. If the water table sits right at the clay line, we should have water right up to here. We have the dock back there. You already seen how high that is out of the water. We're thinking of a few different things of maybe what to do since it's so high. I was contemplating putting another upper deck on it. It would make a nice dive platform into the deep end, but Jessica said that's not safe, so we're not gonna do that. Other options are maybe attaching a zip line though from that top point over to the far side of the pond, and you could actually zip line across it and fall right in the deep end of the pond. So let me know if you got any other suggestions in the comments down below as to what we can do with it since it's so tall. If nothing else, we're just gonna cut it. I'll use the 6x6s for up here by shore, and then we'll have maybe a 3-foot lift from shore up to that first piece there, the first dock post, and then come out and across. So it'll be a little high above the water, maybe about 4 feet. I'm really surprised that we don't have any water in here yet though. Just maybe 3 inches right down there that is frozen at this point. It's the final pan around though. Looking really, really good. I'm definitely really happy with it. You happy with it? We just can't wait to actually have walls up on our house and see how things are gonna look. Last little bit, looking down the dock. Looks like the concrete set up nicely on this. I used a 5-minute post set mix, so that definitely set up pretty fast. And we're probably gonna have a little bit of an overhang, maybe a 4-foot overhang off the end of this dock, so it might come to right here. So when you jump off the end, you're probably jumping in 10 feet of water. If you get way out there, you're gonna end up in that deep hole, which will be fine. Probably extend that deck out maybe 4 feet with a 45-degree angle back here to the 6x6 post for support. Jump back up here with Jessica now and take a look at it from up here. You can't even see how deep it is down there at that deepest point from up here. But yeah, like I said, we'll probably go a little elevated right off of here and come right across the top of this with the decking on the dock. Cutting to the drone video, the usual spot I start over here on this side of the house, framing still over there on the right hand side. And I got to say our house is really starting to look more like a house now that that framing is going up and almost complete at the time of me filming this voiceover. So definitely getting really excited. I mean, we've always been really excited about building this house, but it's really starting to take shape now. Can take a look at the final grade here in this drone video. A little bit steeper over there on the right hand side of the house, which we were completely fine with. That's exactly how we wanted it to look. It will be nice when all this topsoil is brought back over the top of the clay and sand. We won't have these big dirt piles around the property or around the house anymore, and we'll be able to maybe actually have a straight line sight to the pond instead of having to go up on our second story to be able to see that. Able to see the final shape here of the pond, though. This is the shape that Jessica wanted it to look like, a little bit flat on the front and more rounded around the back. We will have to wait till springtime to see how much water we get in here. I hope it fills right up to the bottom of the sand layer. That's where we think the water table is, and it was there last year because the woods up here at the top of the screen was full all the way until summertime with water. Once summertime hit, a lot of that evaporated. So hoping that that water table is somewhat high to fill the pond, but not so high that it starts coming in the basement, but we should be all right even if that happens. So down there in the deepest part is about 20 feet from probably water depth. And if you actually measure from the top of the sand here at this point with our 2 to 3 feet of sand, about 22 to 23 feet from this top height. But definitely really cool. I'm guessing when the snow begins to melt in the springtime, it'll probably start filling up really fast, especially since a lot of this woods over here gets a little swampy and a lot of that water starts draining over this direction. All right, let's go ahead, throw the drone back up in the air, and we'll see what this looks like from the air. Cutting to the drone video now, up at 400 feet, and I was actually up here because I wanted to get a view of the entire pond next to the house, pretty much right where we're going to be planting all this grass in case I put a sprinkler system in. But as you've seen in the last video, I'm probably not going to do that now. So over here at the new driveway we're putting in, you can see the culverts in. Got some nice riprap on each side here. All the equipment is staged, ready to leave the site. And Jessica's frog pond that she wanted filled in is now gone. So I think we dumped probably 3 or 4 loads of clay to finish filling this in the rest of the way. It was actually quite a bit deeper than I thought it was. But they were going ahead, bailing the water out with the excavator, dumping it over here on this side while they were going ahead and filling that in. There goes Jessica's frog pond. Filled in the rest of the way. We're gonna go ahead in the springtime and probably put a 12-inch culvert through here instead of the 6-inch. You can see a little bit of that water though that was in here that they dumped out. It looks like it flows. I definitely saw it flowing in that direction, which we thought this was a pretty low spot here. But now that I'm following this through, it actually looks like it might be flowing over here to this side of the house. And we had them go ahead and fill that ditch in because we thought it was a lot lower down here. I guess in the springtime, if we come to it and we start noticing that there's a lot of water here in front of our house, I'll show you where I'm talking about real quick here. We just walk up here a little bit further. But if we start noticing a lot of water kind of hanging out in this area on the side of the house, we might need to go ahead and dig that ditch back out to let that water flow out of here. So right here, you can see all that water did come up in here and flooded this area a little bit. So definitely thought it was lower down there, but I guess you can kind of see right down this ditch, and it definitely does flow this direction. Let me back up a little bit further here. So this ditch used to come right across here where we're going to be putting our driveway across right here. So we had them fill this area in since it will no longer be a low spot. Like I said, if that water is just hanging out in here, creating a swampy wetland area, may need to have to go ahead and put a culvert back in underneath this area to let that drain out the rest of the way. Jumping back to the drone video now, we can see that little frog pond mud hole has been completely filled in with a little bit of clay from the pond. I think we had to use about 3-4 loads of clay, And you can see where all that water ran over there on the right hand side. I'll cut to that in another video later on, and we're able to see that. This video I just wanted to kind of capture how much sand was taken out of the other side of our property. So all the sand was used for fill around the house and inside of the garage, the back porch, and the front porch. And now it's just kind of flying this way, taking a look in the woods as well as the weeds. And you can see how many deer trails, rabbit trails, coyote trails, whatever's been using it. There's been a lot of activity in this area. Again, just kind of over the top of where that frog pond used to be, and I was trying to follow where all the water went from out of there, and you can see that it does flow directly to this ditch where I thought was a little bit higher area, and it flows towards our driveway. So I think we're going to put a 6-inch tile in here proactively just to allow this to drain underneath the driveway, and we can bury this ditch in the rest of the way, kind of right there in front of where the car is parked. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below.